Hi, welcome to the FilmCrop channel. Today I will explain the 2010 fantasy action film called Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Please support me with a like and a comment. That way you can help the channel grow. Spoilers in it. Watch out and take care.
It gets into the wrong hands.
I will take care of your knife.
Persia. The reigning king Shahriman had 2 sons. But in the eyes of the gods, his royal family was not complete enough. Then one day he witnessed a brave deed done by an orphan boy. He saved his friend from an attack by the guards. A chase started after him, but he managed to escape from them with dexterity until he was still caught. The king adopted the boy. His name was Dostan. Despite the blood flowing in him, he became a prince of Persia. Dostan grew up, and together with his half-brothers Garsiv and Tus, he led the Persian army. They attacked the holy city of Alamut, suggesting that the city's inhabitants sell arms to their enemies. Garsiv leads the initial attack. Dostan, however, decides to stage a surprise attack with his friend Bis, against his brother's orders. Together they manage to open the eastern gates of Alamut and prevent a brutal battle. However, Tas still leads troops into the holy city. During the battle, Dostan finds a dagger in the possession of one of the vanquished citizens, and decides to keep it. Persia captures the city and interrogates Princess Tamina about the workshops where they made weapons for the enemies of Persia. The princess claims there are none. Then Tus offers to marry him. Tamina refuses, saying she would rather die, but when she sees Dostan with the found dagger, she agrees to Tas's proposal. King Shahriman is angry with Tas for seizing the sacred city on the pretext of searching for weapons, but he has found nothing. The son apologizes to him, saying that it was all his fault, although the idea of searching for weapons belonged to the king's brother, Nizam. The Persians celebrate their victory. Tas asks Dostan for a gift for Shahriman, but he has nothing. Then, too, he offers to give him a mantle from Alamut and gives it to Dostan. When he gives it, the king begins to catch fire. Shahriman dies. The mantle has been poisoned. Everyone holds Dostan responsible for it. Together with Tamina and his friend Bis, they escape. His friend is killed when he tries to save them. Together they embark on a journey. Stopping for a rest stop, the princess tries to kiss Dostan, but actually wants to kill him and attacks him. Defensively, he presses the dagger, and time reels back. It turns out that the dagger has the magical power to control time, due to the magical sand inside it. Dostan realizes that it was this dagger that was the target of the attack on Alamut. This is why Tus coveted it so much. He would be able to foresee the outcome of the battle and any enemy attack, which would make him the greatest ruler of Persia. That is what he dreamed of. The next morning Dostan goes to his father's funeral with Tamina. He is hunted by Garsiv and the guards of Persia. They follow the trail of the horse Dostan took from his brother. The prince and princess come to the Valley of the Slaves. Tamina pretends to lose consciousness and stuns Dostan. He awakens among the bandit merchants Sheikh Amar and his friend Sezo. The prince offers Tamina as a slave in exchange for their hospitality. It turns out that Amar is the creator of the ostrich race, a place about which there are terrible rumors. However, the bandits try to take the dagger and send Dostan to the newly crowned Tas because of the reward for his capture. The bandits fail, while the prince and princess escape. Together they return to Persia for King Shahriman's funeral. Dostan tries to convince his uncle Nizam that he was not the one who killed his father and tries to reveal to him the real reason for the attack on Alamut. When he wants to show Nizam the dagger, he finds that Tamina has taken it. Dostan notices burns on Nizam's hands that indicate he was responsible for the king's death. This encounter turns out to be an ambush. After a fight with Garsiv, Dostan escapes. Nizam, back in Persia, tries to convince Tus that Dostan should be killed without trial. However, the new king does not want to be savage and still insists on a trial.
Right. A public trial will best communicate the king I hope to be.
Then, Nizam enlists the help of assassins who once served as assassins for the royal family. Nizam hid the sect for his own purposes after Shahriman disbanded it. Dostan finds and catches up with Tamina. He explains that Nizam was behind it all. A storm breaks out, and they take refuge in a tent. The princess tells Dostan that Alamut contains the heart of all life on earth. The hourglass of the gods, which can be used to go back to any point in time and change it. But except that the dagger can only take a man back 1 minute. Dostan realizes that Nizam wanted to go back to the distant past, when he saved his brother Shahriman from a lion during a hunt, and do the opposite. Then Nizam would become king. But according to legend, the sand ended up in the watch for a reason. The gods decided to send a sandstorm that would destroy mankind for all the sins that kept appearing more and more. This was prevented by a little girl, She asks the gods to give mankind another chance. And if Nizam sticks the dagger into the watch and activates it, believing it will return in time, it will break the spell holding back the sands. They will break free and humanity will perish. Together they decide to return the dagger to the temple. During a halt, they are caught by Sheikh Amar. It turns out that a riot broke out after their escape, causing his ostrich farm to cease to exist. Amar wants to turn them over to the new king again and save his farm at the expense of the reward. But they are attacked by assassins. They use deadly vipers. Then Dostin uses a dagger and reels back time, saving everyone. The assassin leaves. The next day, Dostin and Tamina follow to the temple in the mountains to seal the dagger in stone so that no one can use it. But to accomplish this, Tamina must give her life to the gods. They confront Garsiv's men, but Dostin manages to convince him that he is innocent. Hearing the noise, Garsiv comes out of the house they were talking in, and he is instantly killed by the assassins. They attack, killing many of the group, while their leader takes the dagger from the unconscious Tamina who is lying there. Before he dies, Garsiv saves Dostin from the last assassin and asks his forgiveness. Together they return to Alamut to tell Tus the truth about Nizam and the dagger. But first they must retrieve the dagger, which is kept in the sacred temple guarded by the assassin who killed Garsiv. Sesso, a master knife thrower, sets out to fight the assassin. He manages to kill the assassin, but is mortally wounded himself. Before he dies, Sesso manages to throw the dagger out the window. Amar then distracts the guards while Dostin tells the whole truth to Tus. He even kills himself so that Tus can rewind time and see for himself the magical properties of the dagger. Tus believes him, but then Nizam arrives and kills the new king. The dagger is in Nizam's hands again, but Dostin manages to kill the assassin with Tamina's help. She realizes that the murdered assassin was a spy in Alamut and must have been the one who told Nizam about the dagger. Nizam goes to the hourglass caves beneath Alamut. Dostin and the princess run after him. Tamina opens a secret gate and they cut their way to the hourglass. On the way they encounter the leader of the assassins, whom they manage to defeat. But Nizam outpaces them by sticking a dagger in the clock. During the fight between Dostin and Nizam, the latter throws Tamina off the cliff, but the prince catches her. The princess sacrifices herself, falling into the cliff so that Dostin can defeat Nizam. The duel continues, they both have their hands on the dagger, when suddenly Dostin presses a button that activates the sands of time and returns to the moment when he first found the dagger. Dostin reveals Nizam's devious plan to all his brothers. Taz is stunned, he believes Dostin, but to be sure of the truth, he asks to call the spy who denounced Alamut. Nizam, unable to bear defeat, attacks Dostin in front of everyone, but is killed by Taz's blade. Apologizing for the destruction in Alamut, Tus offers Tamina to become Dostin's wife, as a sign of reconciliation and strengthening of the alliance between them and the sacred city. The prince returns the dagger to her, and together they retire to talk. Dostin says that we make our own destinies. Though Tamina does not remember him at all, she falls in love with him. Together they seal the dagger, thus saving all humanity.